Good evening everyone. My name is Nikhila Manna. Today in this video I'm going to talk about performance-based budgeting, how it actually works and implemented in real world, and what are its aims, purpose of the budget. Before we get into detail about performance-based budget, let's quickly review basic concept. What is budgeting, why is it important, and what are the types of budget? So budgeting is a procedure to prepare a well-structured plan to allocate the money or resource to achieve the set of objectives within definite time period. It also gives a clear picture in advance about the availability of resource, which can help the organization or sector to prioritize their programs accordingly. Now coming to its important, budgeting is important to achieve success in each and every sector, whether it be a small or large sector. It tells us about the revenue and expenses of the business and restricts the spending which goes out of plan. It also communicates to everyone about the priorities of business. And next is types of budgeting. There are different types of budgeting which are being followed or implemented by every sector. They lead companies towards a success roadmap and sometimes downfall due to the improper implementation. Few of them are line item budgeting, program planning budgeting system, performance-based budgeting system, and zero-based budgeting. Now let's coming back to the main topic, performance-based budgeting. It mainly focuses on three main concepts, that is funding. It ensures that there is proper allocation of money to the required strategies to achieve the expected outcomes and then compares it with the actual outcomes. It's basically a procedure of connectivity between funds, outcomes, and expected outcomes, and ensures to improve the performance to be more efficient and effective. Now let's put this in practical. Let's see how the performance-based budgeting has impacted our Indonesian government sectors, what has motivated them to shift to PBB from other various budgeting procedures. As we can see in the graph that the performance of the public sectors have downfall from few years. So this can also be one of the reasons to change their budgeting plan. And besides this, public sectors undergo changes in plan according to the management sector and claims arises in community. Indonesia has undergone various budgeting implementation like traditional line item budget, which has only done for the short-term perspective, which led them face problems like limited accountability, no clarity between capital and revenue expenditure, further problems of sustainability in finance. And after this budgeting plan, they have shifted to program planning budgeting system, which was only focused on formulating plan related to input, regardless of the main point whether they are efficient or not. Later they tried zero-based budgeting, but as the above other two previous budgeting plans, it was also not work, as it was only focused on current activities. So therefore, that motivated them. And also to overcome these issues, Indonesia have decided to shift to performance-based budgeting, as it not only focuses on input but also takes output into consideration, but also done by taking into account linkage between funding outcomes and expected outcomes with the most efficient and effectivity. This was implemented in both central and local governments. Now let's have a look at the implementation of performance-based budgeting in public sectors. The first step was the introduction, which was carried out between 2005 to 2009. Second stage is stabilization for 2010 to 2014. The last stage is completion in 2015. The purpose of the implementation is to improve quality of the public services, to ensure the linkage between policies, planning, budgeting, and implementation, to optimize the usage of resource and allocate them to the main programs and supporting activities. And the last one is to develop or maintain performance measurements and management. Now coming to the aims of the implementation, first one is to achieve accountability and transparency, and as it is a main issue in Indonesia, to make it more scalable sequentially from priority performance indicator, and the last aim is to get outcome and activities. Now let's see the results of implementation of performance-based budgeting in public sectors. Although there is a correctness in understanding the concept of PBB, Indonesia was unsuccessful to achieve performance-based budgeting. There were several mistakes made in planning, implementation, and measurement. The laws which have been enacted were also not implemented accordingly, and the status of implementation of the budgeting was not achieved with the plan. These mistakes were being caused in Indonesia because of less communication, application systems, rewards, and ethic of work, etc. Therefore, as a manager or accountant, I can prove that though they got the concept of performance-based budgeting, but failed to put it in practically. I would suggest the Indonesian government to improve the systems in various areas like top drivers. They should allocate the resources to most profitable and growth-oriented activities rather than requirement-wise. They should implement latest technology tools, for example, CPM tool. As I have seen that there is a lack of technology, and also as it is developing country, it should ensure that they have sufficient human resource in both local and central government. Thank you.